Okay, come, can you give them a round of applause? Right. So Joey, you are Gen Z or not Gen Z? No, okay. Okay, so we will start the Q&A session. So there's can we have the QR code up? So this is a live one. So when you all send, then I will receive it, and then we can ask questions. So you all can direct the questions to the speakers that is in front, and we will pick up the questions later. Okay. So we'll start by talking to Nicholas first, right? We'll ask Nicholas a few questions, and then we'll talk to Joey, and then Jaden, and then later we will do it openly lah. Okay. Patrick, let me know timing lah. Okay. Okay, so I want to introduce Nicholas to you guys, right? So Nicholas understand that, Nicholas is from the same company as me lah, okay? We are from AIA. So Nicholas understand that you have achieved the highest and most prestigious accolade from your company, the rank of MDD. So MDD is actually Master District Director, among many of your others achievements, right? To qualify for MDD, you have to be constantly productive for at least 20 years, achieve the Hall of Fame award, groom a high amount of agency leaders organically, right? So this is an AIA thing, you have to do it organically. Build a strong direct team, build a strong indirect team, good persistency, very good persistency, and a minimum of 2 million FYC consecutively for more than 2 years to be qualified this accolade as MDD. Furthermore, you are also recognized as a MDRT District Director with more than 30 packs qualifying for MDRT every year. And on top of that, you managed to qualify for top of the table based on personal production. Can you guys give Nicholas a hand? Very, very outstanding. Okay, so my first question is, can you share with the crowd how you do it, how you remain productive in both management and personal production, and how do you balance the responsibility between these two roles?
Yeah, thank you, Chem. Okay, first up, I just want to thank FSMA for the opportunity to share. When Chem invited me, I asked him a few times, "Are you sure you want me to be here?" Because I'm 30 years in a business, so sometimes I think whether what I share would be too old school or not, but I will just do my best. Okay, and I hope that, I know there's a lot of, like Zoe, and Jaden, these are very young and very successful leaders. My journey has been a very long journey, 30 years in the business. So I understand that the topic today is about how do I manage to, management responsibility and also as a personal producer. Now I must qualify that I'm not a 30-year MDRT producer. I qualified TOT last year.
Yes, come, give me a big hand.
Thank you. So when I first started this business 30 years ago, I came into this business. Back then, 30 years ago, AIA actually don't recognize MDRT. So, because AIA talk about our own MDC club and all this stuff. So, but somehow I heard about MDRT. So when I joined this business, then I thought that if there is a international recognition, then if I want to be successful, then I should achieve it. So I did qualify MDRT as a producer in the first 2 years before I moved up as a leader. But when I moved up as a leader, I have to say that it is very challenging. I have to be very honest here that the responsibility and the roles was a lot, right? As a leader, we recruit, we train, and 30 years ago, things are not so efficient. So I really seriously struggled as a new leader with recruitment, with training, and all this stuff. So then I put production as on the back seat. I still produce, but I never give myself a target. I didn't tell myself that, hey, I'm a leader, I need to do MDRT, I must do MDRT. Because when I become a leader, I think my thought process is like, now I'm a leader, I'm going to build a team. So whoever I bring into this business become my baby. So it's like I become responsible for that person. So my greatest fear as a leader when I first recruit people is that I would disappoint them or let them down. So I took my responsibility very seriously. So I always think that personal production is not as important as me giving my time and training my advisor, being there for them. So that's how I think about production when I was a young leader. So the first few years, of course, we all struggled. Or maybe not, sorry, I must apologize, I struggled. Okay, and when I struggled, I really put production at the back seat. So I didn't do MDRT when I was a leader, but I just did some basic production. But keep building the agency, until where it is today. But of course, starting from a few years back, I did my COT also a few years back, and last year I did TOT. So if I look back, right, how that happened was because when I started to, first of all, just now Joey talked about anagram. So basically I'm a type 5. So type 5 always strive for efficiency. So I believe that, as a leader, when you got so many roles to play, you got so limited time, you have to be really very effective and very efficient. So I did my best to be very efficient, but it come to a point where I realized that no matter how effective and how hardworking and how efficient I can be, there's just this limit. I have this cap. Why? Because we're all limited by time. Correct? We have family, we have children, we don't just have work in our life. So even as a very hardworking person, I find that no matter how hardworking I am, no matter how efficient I become, there is just this limit. And that limit has actually kept me from, so I always have to make very difficult choices. It's either I invest my time developing my agent, or I spend time going to close a sale. So it became a very real challenge. Until one point in time, I started to realize that if one person is limited in order to expand that capability, then I cannot continue to build my district as a one-man team. So that's where I started to put on the mindset of building an organization. When I put on the mindset of building an organization, my whole idea is basically thinking that if there are enough people who take responsibility for the task for everybody, then we can operate in a very efficient manner. It's just like, think of it like, so when I was looking at AIA, right, like every typical organization, you have a CEO, you have a lot of big department head. The CEO basically don't care about a lot of things because the department head basically take responsibility to produce the KPI in every department. So then I start to think that if we can build an organization where my leaders also take responsibility and cover each other, then we actually can free up each other's time. So that started me, so I started that journey of really building an organization where I sat down with all my leaders together and then started to build a lot of things collaboratively together. And it has worked very well. And that's how I started to find time. I started to be able to breathe. Okay, yeah. Because then I realized that I can look at my organization from a higher view, and I empower my leaders to run areas that they're responsible for. So like, for example, we all know we need to train our advisor. But if I have 5 leaders doing all the training together, then versus like last time when I first started training, when I recruit one new agent, I got to spend 2 weeks with this agent myself. You don't have time for other things, right? So that's just an example. So in an organization, there are a lot of things we need to run, and I think that's where we started to expand our capabilities when we managed to be able to build a very cohesive organization with role very well defined, and everyone really covering each other. And I suffered as a young leader when I can't find the time to do my personal production and fulfill my management responsibility. And I didn't want the same thing to happen to my leader. And that's the reason why I built an organization. And today I tell my leader, I said that today you have the time to do personal production, because when you recruit someone in, your fellow leaders is training the person. Your fellow leaders is running harder for you. Your fellow leaders is doing this for you. Your fellow leader is doing that for you. All your hats, everybody is putting on different hats. So therefore, our management responsibility is basically code-shared. So that direction has worked very well for us. Yeah, and because of that, I also find myself having more time, to be able to do that personal sales lah. Then I just want to share that last year I did TOT, but I'd be very honest to say that TOT was not my goal. Yeah. The inside story was that last year my organization came together and said that let's run for the top MDRT district in the company. Because in AI, we have a top MDRT district company, and that means the organization having the most number of MDRTs producer. And all these years, I have never set a sales target for myself. Okay, because I'm a tier 3, I think that my responsibility is management. But when my team decided that we want to run for the top MDRT district, suddenly I realized that I'm also a head count. Okay, I realized that I'm also a head count, right? So if I run MDRT, I got one more head count. So I won't want to come to a situation we lost the race because we are short of one, and that one can be me. So then beginning of 2024, I told myself, okay lah, then for the first time in 20 over years that I become a leader, I set a sales target for myself. But previous years I did qualify MDRT, but it was never a target. So 2024 was a serious thing. Then I said to myself, okay, then it has to be part of my planning, it has to be part of my time management that I have to do MDRT. So that's how it started. Yeah. Then what I did, something very simple, was that I just block out my calendar. I said that if I really have to do MDRT, I think I just need to consciously make sure that I make 2 sales appointments a week. Yeah. So I actually block out my calendar in that way, because I work a lot by calendar. A lot of things are booked onto my calendar. If it's in my calendar, I know it. If it's not in my calendar, I don't see it, I don't remember it. So that's just a very simple thing I did, and when I start doing that, then sales start to come in, and then it just create a momentum, and then so I end up doing TOT. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, congrats. So TOT with 2 appointments a week. That's all I got. Hey, give me a big hand. 2 appointments a week TOT. Okay, but I won't tell my agent this. Okay. Okay, so maybe one very, very insightful from what he shared. So I see the questions start to come in already, so keep the questions coming in, right? So maybe another question for you is, maybe can you share some time management strategies that you use to divide your time between this agency and personal production? Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to time management, I shared earlier that I block my calendars. So you see, when it comes to time management, to me, first of all, we need to know, I mean, all of you know about the Pareto principles, right? Yeah, that 80% of our results are created by 20% of what we do. So I think the first thing we need to know, you have to look at what you do and ask yourself, what are the most important things that you do that makes the biggest difference? Every one of us are different, all right? So when I know what are the things that I do that makes the most difference, I just make sure that it is blocked in my calendar, that I will not forget to do this very important thing to me. Yeah. Now, I know through the coaching of some of my leaders, some of my advisors, sometimes they are busy, they can totally forget to do something. And that something later come back to haunt them. Yeah. So one thing I do is that whatever I want to get done, I make sure I block it. I create a system. Like for example, if I think that it is important for me to meet my leaders every week, every week meeting is scheduled. Yeah. If I think it's important that certain time is allocated for planning, I book it in my calendar, that time slot, I don't go see appointment, I don't do other things. That is the time slot I need to get that important thing done. Yeah. Then of course, the not important thing, the other 80% of things you do, it just kind of fit everywhere. You know, yeah, because those things, if you're too busy, you didn't do it, it doesn't going to impact a lot. So basically, that's how I manage time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so maybe for the next question we have from XM. This question is directed to Joey. So how many full-time staff do you have and do they work from home? How do you conduct training when there are a mix of very experienced agent and new agent all together? You want me to repeat? Okay. How many full-time staff do you have and do they work from home?
I have one full-time staff and another part-time staff. So the one full-time staff only works from home because if she go office means I need to go office and I don't want to go office. So it's as simple as that. So one full-time staff, but I told her, I did tell her that I don't need her to come to office unless she feels like she can't work at home. You know, sometimes the home environment is not very conducive. Yeah. So what's the next question?
Okay, so the second question is how do you conduct training when there's a mix of very experienced agent and new agent? So how do you conduct
training?
Because
for my training, right, I don't think it is direct to more, how do I say it? Because I host group training, literally for all 13 packs. It is very topic-based. So it doesn't, and I've done it so many times, a lot of times, right, the good thing about having experienced associate is that when I pair them with those less experienced, they can help them, which I think is much better. Because like I said, coming from me is useless. Whatever I tell them, they'll tell me because you're Joey. So it doesn't even make sense. So I get people to tell them, and that's how the training works for my team. And because it's a lot of research-based, right, actually, all of them are quite inexperienced in a way. For example, CPF is evergreen. It's constantly changing. So it is a topic that will not be boring for advisors of many different experience.
Okay. The next, okay, I'm just going through the questions because there's quite a number, so just alphabetically, I would not like check which one to put together, okay? But if the questions come as the same, then we'll just skip the question. Okay, this is to Annie, so maybe the three of you can share your perspective on this. In your opinion, what is the biggest mistake young leaders make at the start of their leadership? Okay, what is the biggest mistake that you think? Maybe we start with Jayden. Yeah.
So actually, as just now I mentioned that I'm from the banker side. So a lot of banker actually had the same knowledge, same investment strategy, outlook, market info. So when I start up to the list, create the training slide to them, right? All my banker, we giving them some feedback is like, hey, this thing actually we learned before. Actually, no point to repeat again. But the market actually will be changed every day. Today, maybe S&P 500 can be dropped 5%, or tomorrow, actually, Elon Musk say, I need to create a new coin, then the market will be out again. So the thing that we need to keep changes for this training slide, right? We need to keep updating for the last night, which is the market, when the US market open up. So when I need to, already, let's say example, I do my training slide for the last week already. But suddenly, last night actually got some changes, the big news. I need to edit again. So when I give the big mistake for my guy, right, actually the up-to-date for the information is not immediately. So sometimes I realize that I need to do my slide is maybe one day before. I cannot do the earlier part of the preparing for the slide unless it's the theory or unless it's the product information or maybe some of the is like the thing that is already fixed. But sometimes we create the thing that we need to have the flexibility adjustment. So for startup, the start for the thing that I do the big mistake actually is this provide information thing for the market outlook. Yeah.
Okay, so you feel that the mistake is to provide excessive information.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your take, Joey? You need me to repeat the question?
No, I remember. Just that
Okay.
if I offend anyone, I'm sorry. But I think that the mistake is that they are very selfish.
Okay.
Yes, that is my personal opinion. I think that young leaders tend to be more selfish. They don't give, and then they are stubborn. They don't want to accept the changes. So it's very hard for them to give. Just keep giving, because that's what our the associate needs, right? They need our attention, our experience, but a lot of time I hear them complaining, not just young leaders, aspiring leaders as well, they're just complaining and complaining and complaining. And then they don't intend to change. But unfortunately, as a leader, I think that change is very, very important if you want to do well and earn more money. So that is what I feel young leaders are the problems.
The biggest mistake is being selfish. Can you give an example of what this can be? Maybe just one example of being selfish.
Example, I know of leaders that keep complaining about their associates.
Okay.
Sorry, my director here also. But anyway, they keep complaining about associate lah. Then you complain also no use, right? The person not going to change one, and might as well just talk properly or solve the problem. Maybe they want to complain to feel better, but a lot of times the complaint is very repetitive. That means nothing is really done. And then they complain about the same old thing over and over again. I feel that it's very unnecessary, and I don't like to waste my time. So when I hear the complaint over and over again, I cannot say anything because I'm not the person's leader. I'll just suck it in, just keep quiet. But to me, solve the problem more important than complaining.
Okay, solve the
So
problem.
I'm a very vocal person. If I have any problem, usually I'll just tell the associate straight away. I think they need to know, and not everybody is like that, but I think it's a very, very good skill to have.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, how about Nicholas? What do you think is the biggest mistake young leaders make at the start of their leadership?
Okay, the thoughts that come to me was when I start reflecting, because I was a young leader long ago. So I recall that one of the things that I realized when I was a young leader, when I started recruiting and developing people, which I realized a few years later, was that I expect the people whom I'm training and developing to behave like me. We are successful because we are more chiong, we are more pia, we are more hardworking, right? Then when you recruit people in, we kind of expect them to behave the same way, and then we train them with this kind of expectation, which I realized that is totally wrong. Yeah. So when I realized this mistake, then I start to realize that if I want to develop and train advisor to be successful, I need to create a system that train people not just according to who I expect them to be. Yeah. So I learned this long ago that, there's 10% of the people that you recruit, you don't need to train them, they will be successful. In fact, who they join also become successful. Then there are 20% of the people, who they join also they will fail. Okay, yeah. But there is a big 70%, whether they were successful or not, then depends on how you train them, how you develop them, what kind of culture, what kind of development you provide. Then I start to seriously go and think, everything I start to do, I do for that 70% of the people. Yeah. Because most of us leaders are 10%er. Yeah. But we cannot hope for a 10%er to always recruit a 10%er. Yeah. So that's the first thing I realized. Now, the other thing that came to my mind is about sustainability. For me personally, I look at sustainability in a way that every management decision I made in agency management, I ask myself, this decision I make, is it a sustainable decision? Meaning to say that because we all know that this is a marathon. Okay, yeah, we are in this business for a long term. Sometimes we can make decisions for the short term, but not for the long term. In other words, it can benefit, it can create result in the short term, but it can create problem for you in the long term. So for me, I feel that sometimes young leaders may make that compromise wrongly. They may make decisions for quick results. They may make decisions for the short term, but they fail to see the long-term impact of such a decision. And years later, when they're long enough in the business, they would then have to suffer the consequences of that short-term decision that they made. So I'm always very careful, when I make a decision, I don't just look at short-term. Sometimes short-term may be painful, but if you can produce a sustainable long-term result, then that is the kind of decision I make. Yeah. So I guess that's what I have. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so I have a number of recruitment questions, I think directed at all three of you, from different people. So maybe we start with Jayden first. So the question is, how do you recruit bankers? The assumption is that you recruit bankers, and what makes them want to leave their current position in pursuit of joining an insurance company?
Okay, for how to recruit a banker, this question would be asking myself also, is why I need to quit for my previous job to join this industry. The question is come out right when, it's a good example when I facing one of my client, right? He asked me that, do you sell life insurance or critical illness plan? For me, last time, actually, we don't focus for the life insurance. Actually, we more focus for wealth product. So always tell client how to grow their money, earlier retire, create more money, then be rich or legacy for their kid or next generation. But when the client asked me that, if that happened that I personal accident, how? Then this question will come up in my mind when I still in the previous job. So when I tell my team member, when the person actually joined me, or before that he haven't joined me, right, I also will be asking this question back to them. All the people actually can't answer for this question. To be honest, definitely, because we won't focus for the product, and we also never have the really well-trained for this product knowledge. Yeah. So first of all, this is a thing that how to create more trust with the client and make sure that the client actually stick to you. The first thing. Second thing, that we well portfolio with my client. That's why the client will follow you all the way, rather than actually you only helping for the client in the one account. Because in the wealth product or the life insurance or wealth portfolio for the financial, the client financial portfolio, right? Actually, it's not only for the saving. Actually, will be everything in the client, like life, CI, whatever thing. So the banker always have facing the issue that we only focus one piece of this wealth product. It's not all. And second thing that is in the previous job, actually, we still, getting for the salary, basic pay, but turnover for here, right, actually, the money actually I can handle myself, and time also. So actually I can create more, what kind of the annual income I want to earn, rather than actually I will have the limit for myself in the previous job. But definitely still have the private banker actually earn quite a lot. Maybe $500,000, $1 million also have. But at the end, right, we need to create more, is like, so-called is a next, because actually, I realized that actually the AIA actually have this mindset that is how to transfer for their business and their career in the next generation. That is the thing that I compare with the previous job. Actually, we can't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So the last sentence actually always to tell the previous same line with me, right? I will tell them that how to create the career for past your next generation, rather than you stick to this current job.
Okay, yeah. So product range, income, and also, you'll be able to pass the business, something like that. Okay, very good. Okay, so the recruitment question to Joey is, how do you recruit the Gen Z? How do you get them excited about a career like ours, which is, very back-end loaded, actually, yeah.
For my recruitment last time and now is very different. Last time, because we do 100% warm market, I don't do cold recruitment. And for my warm market, they are usually people that I already know or my friend's friend. So last time, I recruit based on passion. Meaning, I tell them, hey, this career, you come, you confirm, you do well, you do better than how much you're earning now, blah, blah, blah. But now, what is effective for me, after going through all the different courses from CIAM, is definitely selection and anagram. Every recruit that comes, I will definitely ask them to do anagram first and DISC. Upon DISC and anagram results, then I will, if let's say it's the trait, the anagram number that I really, really do not want, I will really reject. I have rejected before because I know the type of people that I cannot deal with. But don't ask me which number, please, please, please. So other than that, when I meet them, right, actually anagram is like pretty cool to me because when I meet the person, I open an anagram and I go and explain to the person, I'm like feng shui shi, you all know? I'm like telling them what they are, what type of personality they have, and they're like, yeah, Joey, I'm like that. Then the recruitment gets very, very easy for me because I'm telling them what they want, and I'm directing the things that they desire. So that is how I do my recruitment now.
Okay, so you use a lot of anagram now, and that's very useful
Yes, for recent 2 years.
Oh, okay, thank you for that. Okay, so for Nicholas, the recruitment question for you is, with your many years in FI, what you see are the challenges and opportunity for hiring? And opportunities for hiring.
Okay, let's start with challenges maybe. Okay, I think a recent challenges that I realized, was that, like 30 years ago when I joined this career, I was a graduate and I was only paid like $2,000. But today a graduate is paid, starting pay $4,000 or $5,000. Then 30 years ago, for an advisor to earn 100,000 versus an advisor trying to earn 100,000 today, the groundwork is equally difficult. It's not as if today the groundwork is easier. Yep. So you realize that, I realized that, because you see, 30 years ago, when I decided to take on a full-time job, the market only paid me 2,000. The potential increase is a lot in this business if I'm aiming for 100, 200,000 income. But when a fresh grad today come out get $4,000, $5,000, to them, they think, why do I need to take so much risk to join the insurance business? So I think that's what a lot of, many times we find that, I know even insurance company offer those allowance scheme and all this stuff, But we all know that the insurance business really need time to build. And Joey said it right, the Gen Z today is they want it instant. They do today, they want result tomorrow, and that's not how this business works. So the challenge is really being able to help the Gen Z see that if you really keep on being consistent and work in this business, you may not be paid a lot in the short term, but you can be really overpaid in the long term. I think that is one challenge that we must be able to communicate to the Gen Z. Yeah. I think the opportunities is definitely a lot. Why? Because 30 years ago when I joined this career, we only sell insurance. I mean, that's only we do, right? But today, things have changed so much. So I always share with people that the market today is so huge. Yeah. Last time, when I talk to someone, the moment the health is no good, I know I got nothing to do already. I can't do any business with this person. But today, no health also can buy investment. So actually, the opportunity open to our new advisor is so huge. Yeah, the market has expanded so much. So I guess it's about helping them to see the opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, this is a part 2 to the recruitment question for Nicholas. So the question, thank you for sharing generously. When you did TOT, which was last year, did your recruitment suffer or you did more recruitment for that year?
Okay, as I said, whatever I do, I always look at sustainability and I'm still the same Nicholas 30 years ago when I first moved up as a leader, because I still think that my number one responsibility today as a tier 3, not just a tier 2 leader, is that I have to look after my leader. That's the first, my top responsibility. My second greatest responsibility is to make sure that my organization is supporting all my advisor to be successful. Sales is always my last priority. So if unless these two I am satisfied that I fulfill it well, I wouldn't touch the third lah. That's me, yeah. So in short, the answer is that no, everything went well, yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Maybe I choose something that all of you can answer maybe differently also. If you can turn back time, how would you run your agency differently? And so maybe we start this time with Nicholas first, right? So if you can turn back time, right, how would you run your agency differently?
Okay, very quickly. Just now, I think the transformation in my agency management is when I run as a one-man team versus started to think of running an agency as an organization. So I think if I had started way earlier, or maybe right from the first day, I think I would have been maybe much better. Yeah, I think that is to me a very important transition. Yeah.
Okay, how about Joey? If you can turn back time, maybe Jayden first. She volunteered you. If you can turn back time, but for you it's just 3 years, right? So let's say turn back time 3 years. How would you? What would you have to do differently?
So actually, I become the leader when in 2022. Yeah. So actually, it's about 2 year time. So what I will do some differences and improvement actually will be create the system first. Yeah. As my team actually, some of them actually have the sales skill, have the knowledge in the market. So what I need to build more value to them is like how to get more referral to sustain the business in this line, and how to create more systematic with them to have this discipline to work. Because in this line, we need to have a more self-volunteer and the discipline ourselves. Because it's a freedom time, so maybe today lazy to work again, no at home the whole day. That's I did before because when I also financial consultant before. So create system is more important than kidding that sustain this business line.
Okay, how about Joey? What do you think?
If I can turn back time, I would take selection much more seriously, because I have 13 people in my team now. I think 3 left. Sorry, I can't remember. But these 3 left because of different reasons, and reasons that I could have avoided if I knew things like Enneagram, if I knew and understood them better, and if I knew what's the purpose of them joining this industry in the first place. So I didn't really select properly. Anybody want to come, join me? We even hosted party for them for recruitment, so that they can join us. But now it's very different. Now selection to me is really very important. I need to pick the right people to join my team, because I don't want to waste 5 years to train you, to put in all my effort to teach you, give you the structure for you to just leave. So I would really, really, that's why I even reject people now, because if they are not my, like cup of tea, like weird. But if they're not, we don't vibe together, right? Then no, don't join me. I even asked them to join another team actually. I have one agent and I recommended her to someone else, because I cannot tahan her. Yes, so selection.
Okay, yeah. I think for the new agencies, this thing about vibing with the agency is like a very big thing, right? I mean, for the younger agencies, okay. Okay, I think we have time for one final question, right? The question is, how do you attract talent to your team despite facing strong competition from various market players? Okay, yeah, it's to anybody. Okay, maybe we start with Nicholas first, right? Then we just go down. Okay, so the question, I repeat again, how do you attract talent to your team despite facing strong competition from various market players?
Okay, I don't think we have a special, I mean, I have to say that I don't think I have a special formula, but we just keep doing what we do well, increase the capability of the organization to support anyone who is serious about this business, and when we have an opportunity to share this career, we just honestly share what our organization can support and do for this person. Yeah, and if it's good enough, I mean, we cannot be, I mean, we're not the, or at least I say that my organization is not the best. There are always bigger organizations, there are always different organizations. People look for different things. So I just believe that, believe in just sharing honestly what we can do and what we are strong at, and if it's the right candidate that's attracted to our platform, our organization, then that will be the right candidate that we're working with, yeah.
Okay, so if, so if let's say I'm the candidate, then I would say, okay, you know, I'm keen to join you. What would be the pitch that you would say about your agency?
Okay, so the pitch,
Yeah, I mean in a short way, what's that pitch that, you know, Nicholas joining you might provide for me?
In terms of support.
In terms of joining your team, generally helping me to do sales and all that.
Okay, that's quite a loaded question.
I'll ask the same question to you all, don't worry.
Yeah, I don't have a one-liner for this answer.
And maybe, you know, what would be?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a deck.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a deck that actually explain different things that we do.
So
right?
it's about the organization structure.
Yeah. So we basically put all our capabilities together in a deck, and then we basically help the person understand and know our organization.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what we do.
Okay, so it's like you know the team, what the team does, how we function, how we run, and then this is, if you come in, this is how it's going to be like.
Yes.
And this will support you, something like that.
Yes. Then of course that is what we present, right? And recruitment is a process, because you might not be the only one that they meet. Then of course, then we have various events, client engagement, whatever activity that we join. If this person started to look at our organization, then we open up to invite them to come and take a look at how we run this marketing event, how we run this event, that event, what we do. Then be an open book. Okay, for us, we believe in being a very open book. So meaning to say that I'd be very open to tell you this is my organization. You can't see. If you don't like, then there's nothing I can do. But the last thing we want is like, can they talk to you, and then after that they just have an imagination of what it is, then come in and they realize it's not the same. Okay, yeah, that's the last thing we want. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that very sincere and truthful sharing. How about Joey?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, I repeat the question. How do you attract talent to your team despite facing strong competition from various market players?
Because we do 100% warm market, we don't do cold, right? So for our people that join us, we need to first make sure that they are okay with only doing warm market. So that's our criteria for my recruitment. And because we are only doing warm market, and honestly it's not easy to do warm market, right? We actually have a lot of lead generation program that we created for them. But the thing is, aside from creating this program, right, actually it's almost cost-free for them. Meaning we don't expect them to pay. We want them to just find the people and come to our event, recruit and invite referral. And so I think that is a very important USP that this is something that I can do for my team and from my agency.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you say lead gen, because you are talking about warm, so I assume that you are running events and then asking them to bring in their warm to tap onto the event, something like that.
Yep.
Okay, and you all just do purely warm.
100% warm. We reject cold market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For sales can do cold market?
No,
or, no.
as in we're talking about sales.
Sales only do cold.
Yeah, sales
then
only warm.
For recruitment also only warm.
Ideally only warm.
Okay, very warm. Very warm agency.
Yeah, ideally only warm.
Okay, yeah. I mean, different people have strengths in different areas. Okay, how about Jaden?
Okay, in the market right now, actually quite a lot of the differences with the strength and the weaknesses. So always will be highlighted what is the strength for our side and what is our weaknesses our side as well. So we need to build for more value, to build big for our strength to in the public, to showcase to them that how is our benefit to bring to them. And also we need to improve more and more our weaknesses to make for our weaknesses lesser and lesser. So the second question is, if
The second question is, what's your pitch? Let's say if I'm a candidate, I want to join you.
Okay.
What's the pitch that you would tell me so that I would join you instead of joining someone else? Yeah.
Okay, definitely when the person to ask me this question, he have to do a lot of the research and also walk around all the industry or the agent group. So normally for this kind of situation, I will ask the candidate, why not you just come into our office? I will show you what is the showcase for me and what is the achievement for me to achieve before and how to hand on hand to bring you until the same stage. Yeah, this is a showcase that rather than I like talk so much or 画大饼 to you, at the end I didn't deliver to you at all.
Okay, so show them your track record and your performance, right? Okay, very good. So I think that's all the time that we have. Can we give them a big round of applause? Right, when I was looking at all the questions, I was very focused to try to catch the gist of what you all are asking so that we can ask them and hopefully we are able to do that. I hand over the time now to Jimmy, okay?